Shalom. Yep, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Ba'Shem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue, the Lashon Kodash, Holy Tongue. I say Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles. Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit down lesson. This is a very quick sit down lesson of the prophecy updates as of April the 8th, 2026. As we've seen, tensions are continuing to heat up over there.
Hello, Moto.
And as I mentioned again, as we're starting to see tensions continue to heat up over there in Lebanon, despite the fact Israel and the United States and Iran agreed to a 2-week ceasefire. And you had Benjamin Netanyahu who mentioned last night, said Lebanon was not, Israel, Hezbollah wasn't including in the, I think Hezbollah of Lebanon wasn't including in the ceasefire. So with that being said, the tensions are only going to increase between Hezbollah of Lebanon versus the Israel Defense Force, because you still got that ground operation, and I believe in southern Lebanon, between the Hezbollah army versus the Israel Defense Force army. So keep that in mind as well too. And this is a news article from Apex News. Yep, Salaki. This is a news article from Apex News as of updated 9:14 a.m. April 8th, 2026, published by Abby Shelwell and Kareem Shelebal, if I pronounce the names right. It says Israel strikes central Beirut without warning after saying Iran ceasefire doesn't apply there. This is from Beirut of Associated Press. It says Israeli strike hit several dense commercials and resident areas in a central Beirut without warning Wednesday afternoon, hours after a ceasefire was announced and the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. Lebanon's health ministry says dozens were unalive and hundreds were wounded in an early estimate. It says Israel has said the agreement doesn't extend to its war with Iran-backed military groups, Hezbollah, in Lebanon, though a military Pakistan says it does. Well, it doesn't. It says the fleet's sense of relief among Lebanese. I mean, he did mention that when, because Pakistan was a meditator, and Egypt as well too, and other meditators was able to pull off this 2-week ceasefire between both of them.
Hello, Moto.
Right. So back what I was saying, because Egypt and Pakistan, the meditators was able to pull off this deal between Israel, Iran, and the United States to have a little 2-week ceasefire. Now, according to Benjamin Netanyahu, he was saying that it's not including Lebanon in that. It says the fleet sense of relief among Lebanese after the ceasefire announcement turned into panic, with the Israel military called it the largest coordination strike in the current war, hitting more than 100 Hezbollah targets within 10 minutes in Beirut, southern Lebanon, and eastern Bekaa Valley. The black smoke towards several parts of the seaside capital was a huge number of people displaced by war have taken shelter, and explosions interrupted the honking of traffic in what has been a bustling blue sky afternoon. Ambulance raced towards open flames. Apartment buildings were struck. It says Associated Press journalists saw chariots of. It says the Associated Press journalist saw carriers of bodies and vehicles on the ground at Lebanon's Beirut's busiest intersection in central Corniche, if I pronounced that right, in Al Mazaria neighborhood, in a mixed commercial and residential area using forklift rescue workers removed smoldering debris and shifted through ruins and survivors. There was no signs of Hezbollah launching strikes against the first couple of hours after the attack. It says the Lebanese Minister Social Affairs Hanid Said in an interview in the Associated Press condemned Israel's wide-range strikes, calling it a very dangerous turning point. These hits are now at the heart of Hebron. Half of the shelters are internally displaced persons are Beirut in this area. She said, adding that she has just driven by areas hit. She says that Lebanese government is ready to enter into negotiations for an end to hostility in an offer that President previously made. Israel has not responded. They are calls and efforts to be made as we speak, Shadi said. It says Prime Minister Navi Salam in a statement accused Israel of escalating a moment with Lebanese officials. To be honest, if I'm the Lebanese, I wouldn't want to do no deals with them. I mean, because keep in mind, previously they had a deal that was supposed to last for about 2 years, and ever since then they've been breaking the ceasefire. And then you had the Israel Defense Force been blaming, Hezbollah and the pro-Iranian groups for being part of breaking the ceasefire. And that's what you call hypocrisy right there. If I'm the Lebanese government, I wouldn't want to do any deals with them. I'll be in the mindset just like Iran, before the campaign took place between, Iran, Israel, and the United States versus each other. I'll be just like Iran, like, you know what? We had so many ceasefires with y'all throughout the years and throughout the previous wars between Israel and Lebanon. At this point right now, I wouldn't be want to trust them. To be honest, I would say in my mind, I wouldn't be able to trust them. If I'm Lebanon, I wouldn't want to trust the Israel Defense Force if I was them. It says Lebanese officials seeking to negotiate. I wouldn't want to negotiate with the Israel Defense Force. They're doing a lot of unrighteous decrees, like it says in the book of Isaiah 10 verse 1. Disregard the principles in the international law, right? They disregard the international principles law and international humanitarian law principles. It has any case never respected, right? So if that's the case, why would you want to do negotiation with them once again? that wouldn't make no sense. It says Israel military says it has target missile launchers, commanding centers, and intelligence infrastructures. It accused Hezbollah fighters of trying to blend into their non-Shiite areas beyond their traditional strongholds. Residents and officials denied that the buildings were military sites. Looking at these crimes, said Mohammed Abelarzia, a member of the Beirut counselor at the scene of the strikes in Krushnis and Al Merzaria, in a apartment building beyond popular shopping, selling us in dry fruit has been hit. This is a residential mission. This is a residential area. This is nothing military here. It says Israel has struck a central Beirut since the outbreak of the latest Hezbollah war on March the 2nd, but has already struck southern eastern Lebanon and Beirut's southern suburbs. As the smoke rolls, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz warned Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem that his turn will come in 2024. Israel previously unalived Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah with an airstrike. Before the new strikes, Hezbollah officials told the AP that the groups has been given a chance for militaries to secure a ceasefire in Lebanon, but have not announced adherence to the ceasefire since the Israelis are not adherent to it. Right? They break ceasefires. They break covenants. They break ceasefires. Hey, that's the spirit of Esau Edom. It says he spoke condition other than nominal because he was not authorized to comment publicly. The Hezbollah official says the group was not accepted to return the pre-March 2 status quo when Israel carried out a near daily strikes in Lebanon despite a ceasefire being normally playing since the last blown how Israel Hezbollah war ended in November 2024. He says we will not accept for the Israelis to continue behaving as they did before this war. In regards to attack, he said Hezbollah has fired missiles across the border days after the U.S.-Israeli attack on February 25th, sparking a regional war, responded with widespread bombardment of Lebanon and a ground invasion. The Israeli chief of staff on Wednesday said they will continue to utilize every operational opportunity to strike Hezbollah. Lieutenant General said to protect the Israel's northern residents who have come under heavy fire. The Israeli airstrikes has killed more than 1,500 people. Most of those are civilians, men and women. And that's what you call hypocrisy right there. That's what you call unrighteous creeds. Now, when y'all doing airstrikes, don't y'all supposed to target Hezbollah, not innocent men, women, and children? That's what you call hypocrisy right there. But at the same time, you blaming Hezbollah and the pro-Iranian groups for breaking the ceasefire. Now, look what y'all doing. That's what you call hypocrisy right there. More, if I was Lebanon, I wouldn't want to do no deals with the Israel Defense Force, to be honest, if I was them. It says more than one vehicle has been displayed in Lebanon early Wednesday after the ceasefire in Iran announced before Israel struck. Many displayed before sleeping in tents on the streets in Beirut and a coastal city in Shaidan, if I pronounced that right, has begun packing their belongings in preparation to return to their homes. Families at a spiraling displacement camp on Beirut's waterfront later expressed confusion and despair. We can't take this anymore, sleeping in a tent, not showering in uncertainty, says Fadan Sadin, 35, and his parents had prepared to head back to southern city of Namti. It says,
Hello, Moto.
yep, and it says there was no signs of Hezbollah launching strikes against Israel in the first couple of hours after the hit. Slovakia. Phone calls interrupted. Read that last paragraph at the end. Yep, it says, we can't take this anymore. Sleeping in a tent, shower, uncertainty, says Fadad Shadin, 35, and his parents had prepared to head back to southern city of the bit. Instead, they decided to wait things out for now and a bit closer to home. Okay, so this is what you call unrighteous decrees right here. As it says again, Israel strikes Beirut without warning after saying Iran ceasefire doesn't apply. Like I mentioned again, if I was officials of Lebanon, I wouldn't want to do no more deals with the Israel Defense Force because they killing innocent men, women, and children. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? Woe unto them, the small hatters, the Israel Defense Force, Edomites. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? They break covenants, unrighteous decrees towards the nations. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees that grievous witches have prescribed. Yep. And this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 1. Right time for everything. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose in heaven. So we go down to verse 8. Ecclesiasticus 3 and verse 8. And a time to love, and a time of HATE, and a time of war, and time of peace. Right, so we live in a time of war. So tensions are heating up between Iran and Hezbollah over there in Lebanon. And then these nuclear escalations are still continuing to increase despite the fact a ceasefire, a 2-week ceasefire between Israel, United States, and Iran Hey, but you still got a ground invasion. But you still got a ground invasion, and tensions are heating up between Hezbollah and Iran over there in Lebanon, between the borders of Israel. I would say, yeah, between the borders of Israel and Lebanon. And this is the book of Matthew's, the 24th chapter. Yep, Matthew's 24 verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right, that's what we're hearing, wars and rumors of wars between Russia versus Ukraine, North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, United States. And then for the past 2 days, consistently, North Korea launched some more missiles yesterday and recently as well too. The tensions been heating up between South Korea, Japan, United States versus North Korea. And then we've been seeing tensions heating up between Russia, Ukraine, and the European Union and NATO versus Belarus and Russia. So these are signs of wars and rumors of wars. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet. Matthew's 24 verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're seeing, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. It says there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right along with that. We're seeing the famines are increasing. We're seeing earthquakes are increasing. We're seeing the nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom is increasing. We're seeing wars and rumors of wars are increasing. Matthew's 24 and verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So all these just the beginning of sorrows of the signs is only going to continue to increase, and that's what we're seeing. So with that, this was just a quick prophecy. This was just a quick prophecy update sit down lesson as the tensions continue to heat up over there in Lebanon, especially the southern part of Lebanon and the southern Beirut suburbs, as Israel Defense Force didn't include Hezbollah and Lebanon in the ceasefire agreement between Israel and the United States and Iran. And now the tensions are only going to continue to increase over there in southern Lebanon, as the tensions are only going to expand and increase between Hezbollah army versus the Israel Defense Force army. And then you got these other nuclear escalation tensions are still heating up with the Russia-Ukraine situation. You know, North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, United States. Tensions over there in Myanmar, tensions over there in Sudan. So that's what you call the book of Luke 21 verse 25. The distress of nations will perplex sea roaring. So you're still going to see wars and rumors of wars. You're still going to see nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So with that, as I mentioned again, this was just a quick sit-down lesson of the prophecy updates as of April the 8th, 2026 on this Wednesday morning. So hopefully this was edifying. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Hashem HaKadosh, Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf. Until next time, I will say Shalom.